Slow robot. Okay. All right. So I didn't think it was that unclear, but I guess my last video about music versus music theory, some people didn't seem to understand what I was getting at with that and what I actually meant. So I want to kind of do a demonstration and kind of clarification. So what I wasn't saying in the video is that music theory should never be used, and I wasn't saying that doing things by ear is always the best way. What I was saying is that music theory is not strictly necessary to write music. And what I'm going to demonstrate today hopefully will give kind of at least a conceptual understanding of why that is the case. So what I have here is a guitar. Looks like any other guitar, but this is actually strung up. I just got new strings in yesterday, 2 days ago, and strung this up, and it is in new standard tuning, which is a Robert Fripp tuning from, King Crimson. I don't even know when he came up with the tuning, but I've never played it before. I've just heard about it and wanted to try it out, so I had to get special strings. They're thicker on the bottom so that the low C note is it's a tense enough, there's enough tension on the string to play it, so I had to get special strings. And I'm pretty sure that the intonation is probably whacked on this, but it should give an idea of how music theory isn't really necessary to come up with stuff. And again, I don't know all the notes up and down the fretboard in standard tuning. Now I'm in new standard tuning, which is completely different, and just to demonstrate what that sounds like, that's new standard tuning. And if you're familiar with playing the open strings on a standard tuned guitar, that's definitely not, it's definitely not tuned like a standard guitar. So what I'm saying is that I don't know any of the notes on this fretboard. I know that the low one is a C, and I know that this high one is a G, and I know that this is still a D. The third string is still a D. Other than that, I would have to look up what notes just the open strings are, let alone all the other stuff going on the fretboard. But the point is, if I go by ear, I don't care what those note names are. I don't care about any of that information. That's not what I'm listening for. I'm not listening for note names, and I'm not listening for a C. I'm listening for what is coming out of the speakers, or in my case, the headphones, and does it sound good? So that's what I'm going to be working with here, and I'm just going to try and come up with something. So I don't know any chord shapes. I don't know any of the kind of traditional shapes that you can use to play scales. I kind of know a little bit of the pentatonic on a standard guitar. I know how to play that shape in one position or two positions, but no idea what the scales are like in this tuning. So I'm going to switch on the capture for... Oh, that was the wrong thing. That's what I want, I think. Let's make this smaller. If I can. There we go. Okay. So now you're seeing Reason. So I'm in Reason. You can hear my guitar. That's a reliable chord for me in a standard tuning. So right now I'm just going into a Kuasa, a Vermilion amp. So let's kind of dirty this up just a little bit. Get a little bit of crunch here. I don't think we want this amp type. Let's try a different one. Let's go to B, see what that sounds like. Okay, it sounds utterly crazy right now, and understandably so, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so that's a chord. Okay. Let me... Do I have that on? I do. Turn off this gate. I don't need the gate here, and I don't think... Yeah, we can leave that on. Already got something that you could potentially turn into a verse or something, just with that. So let's keep going. Let's put some other kind of effect in front of this. Let's delete this one first. Easier to do it that way. And let's put this. And I'm going to use the Gammy, my new favorite, or one of my new favorites. And let's put this into octave, my favorite mode, which is harmony and octave up. Let's turn the time up here so it gets a little cleaner. That's nice, but we're gonna make that a little let's crank up some feedback here. And sorry if this is scrolling too fast. I got a trackball here and it's got a mouse wheel or scroll wheel, which I'm not used to. No excuses. I'm not sure I even know what this is. I don't think I've played with this before. It's kind of cool. Let's try changing the mutation. Okay, that's a little too crazy with the Gammy here, so let's just turn that off and get something a little more standard. Let's grab a let's just grab a pole. Let's do a scream. Just get some distortion. not surprising because again I haven't set this thing up. Oops. Not too bad actually. Okay, let's go back to this. I'm noticing that I can use a lot of do a lot of one-finger chords with this. I know that all of these are equal tuned except for, or equal intervals except for the last two, which I think this is. Yeah. And so this goes back to the point I was making in the other video, which is I do know some theory. I know enough theory to tune my guitar, but that doesn't mean I'm using theory to create the music that you're hearing. And so that's kind of the distinction that I was trying to make in the video, the first video, which I clearly didn't do a very good job of. So let's see what else we can do. Let's take some of the gain out of this. Turn that up a little bit. Definitely hear that the intonation is off, but we'll set that aside. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a tempo for that. No music theory used in setting that tempo, by the way. Alright, so let's turn the click on so I can play along to that. And turn the pre-count off. And record that. 2, 3, 4. Just as an idea, it's a good starting point, good demo. And so then what we can do is we can come up and do some drums. It's probably gonna be terrible. I'm not good playing keyboards or guitar. toms in there. Actually, before I do that, let me quantize this. Where are you? I'm not used to using this in this size screen. Let's just do a quick quantize there. I think that's probably an eighth, maybe. We'll see, probably not. That is not eighth notes. So let's go 16th. See, if I knew theory, I could have realized that right off the bat. You can hear how badly I played that by the fact that half of my quantized stuff went to the wrong beat. Let's just clean this up a little bit. I know it's in 16ths now, so. And let's give that a velocity, you know, higher than 1. Okay, we're gonna just add some toms in there real quick. Okay, and we're gonna quantize those as well because I'm sure that could be useful there. Those were played a little bit better, so that's good. All right, so we've already got kind of an idea for guitar here. All right, I'm gonna put the guitar down. Grab a bass. Alright, come on. Too many cords and cables. Alright. More careful, Chris. Alright, so now I've got my bass hooked up. Fun fact about the bass, it is tuned to standard tuning, not new standard tuning, so I have to figure out how to play something in the ballpark of this guitar line that I wrote. Oh, I gotta switch the input here. and take something here. So that's not great. Let's try another one. Actually, let me do that. That's the note out. So I'm going to do a slide down like that. That's a little better. So you can already hear there's just a off the top of my head, you know, listening, using my ears, I can come up with ideas. You know, the guitar obviously does not sound great because again it's not intonated properly, but that's a perfectly fine little riff that you could build on. The bass line is, again, not played particularly well, but I'm throwing this together. You know, this is just to give you an idea of what you can do without having any idea what you're doing theoretically. So let's keep going. Let's see if we can come up with like a pad part or something. Let's add some add an instrument track. Let's go with my favorite, if I can find it, which is grain. I love grain. Grain is my favorite. That's just so nice. That's just so nice. All right, we're gonna let's do this. I think we can just drag a let's drag. This is what I call what do I call this? Nope, that doesn't work. Okay. I have to change it to a sample, I think, right? Yeah, new sample, and then I can just drag this in here. And let's move this to somewhere useful. Oh, see, look at that. Oh, didn't do anything, just loaded in that sample and I'm pressing one key. How freaking cool is it? Alright, let's I have to analyze this. I think you just do this. And again, I have I can name the keys that I'm pressing. I have no idea how like you're supposed to put together a chord on a keyboard. Like, I don't know what the, you know, how to make a major chord versus a, that's way even more confusing on a keyboard for me than it is on a guitar, because it's you've got all the black keys and all that kind of stuff. There's like magic. It's all magic. But I have some basic shapes that I tend to use. Let's go up an octave. Alright, let's see if we can figure out like a root note here, and then we'll... Sure. It's interesting. so that might be where I want to go. Super simple, but could be cool. Let's try. Let me scroll. Whoa. Gotta get used to the scroll wheel. All right. Okay, so we're going to take that. Make sure I remember those notes. So that's it. So I've got a cool synth part going along there. I think that sounds pretty cool. Obviously it needs a lot of mixing, and that guitar part would need to be re-recorded with proper intonation. But again, you can just hear how easy it is to come up with an idea, no idea what you're doing theoretically. And one of the things that I've noticed ever since I started playing guitar, is that not thinking about it from a theoretical standpoint, not knowing really what notes I'm playing at any given moment, the majority of the time, I've noticed that I tend to play more based on shapes. So like I learned the chord shapes, like again, I don't know what chord name I'm playing, but I can play a power chord on a standard tuned guitar just fine. But it's almost a visual way of playing instead of thinking of it in terms of notes. And so I think it kind of takes me a little bit out of the space of thinking about it in terms of the theory, because I don't have to worry about the theory, because I'm thinking like, oh, this is an interesting shape to play. And that's kind of why I wanted to try this new standard tuning too, is because it forces you out of your comfort zone. If I've gotten used to playing certain chord shapes and certain notes in certain ways on my guitar, and when you change up your tuning like that and you have no idea what your tuning is like, you have to basically reteach yourself how to play the instrument in that new kind of mode. It really frees you up to think about how it sounds rather than what notes you're playing. So again, just, you don't need the theory. And this is a good example. But to get back to the original point of like, why did I make that last video? Really, it's to talk about not listening to the people who are telling you need to learn this stuff in order to be a creative individual, in order to make good music with your whatever instruments you choose. You can be a good musician without learning the theory. And again, just to reiterate, that's not to say I don't think you should learn any theory. I think you should learn some theory. I'm just saying, don't let a lack of theory knowledge stop you from getting going in music and get excited about doing music. Because you don't have to, you can learn as much or as little theory as you want. The important thing is to think about the music and the sounds that are coming out of your speakers and your headphones. That's what's important. So don't worry so much about, meeting a certain bar that some people decide you need to know about before you can even start work on making music and making art. So that's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that this second video has made it a little bit more clear. And that's it. Take care.